Imagine rushing down into the London Underground, coffee in hand, eyes fixed on the clock, with no idea that just a few meters beneath your hurried steps lies a treasure capable of buying entire cities. This isn't a metaphor. It's literal. Thousands of tons of gold stacked in silence, in the dark, motionless, yet controlling the world. And that's where the discomfort begins, because that gold isn't exactly British. But it isn't exactly yours either. In the heart of London, where the rumble of trains echoes like constant thunder, there is a place where time seems to stand still. Golden bars stacked like walls. Cold, perfect, identical. Each one weighs more than 12 kilos. Each one carries stories of empires, wars, betrayals, and deals made in the shadows. The question was never how much gold exists there. The real question has always been, who does it belong to? When the world stops working normally. The story doesn't begin with modern vaults or computers. It begins with a poor country, forgotten on the edge of Europe. In the 16th century, England was small and irrelevant compared to the Spanish glow. While Spain ripped mountains of silver and gold from the Americas, London watched from afar, without rich colonies or miracle mines. But there was one thing the English always mastered better than anyone else: adaptation and opportunism. The solution they found was simple, elegant, and morally flexible. If they couldn't extract gold, they would steal it. Not just any way, with official authorization. Pirates licensed by the crown, thieves with royal approval, men who looted in the Queen's name while she kept her hands clean, at least on paper. That's how a man named Francis Drake, known as El Draco, became a national hero. A pirate with a confident smile and imperial ambitions. When he set sail in 1577 on a secret mission, few imagined its impact. 2 years later, he captured a Spanish galleon loaded with absurd riches. Gold, silver, broken promises. So much metal that it couldn't all be carried. Part of it was buried in the jungle, forgotten like a secret too heavy to take along. Of the 5 ships on the expedition, only 1 returned. But it returned overflowing. So overflowing that investors made profits that today would sound like a financial scam. Thousands of % in return. The Queen wasn't outraged. She was delighted. And she did something even smarter than spending that gold on luxury. She turned plunder into strategy. She invested in ships, cannons, a fleet. And a few years later, when Spain tried to crush England with its invincible armada, it was defeated by a navy financed with stolen gold. That was the first cycle. Theft, investment, power. But it wouldn't be the last. Because England realized something fundamental. Gold doesn't have to be extracted from the ground. It can be extracted from systems. And no system was more profitable than the one created in India. The East India Company wasn't just a company. It was a state in disguise. It had its own army, its own laws, its own currency. It collected taxes, executed people, and did all of it in the name of trade. Or so it seemed. The mechanism was cruelly perfect. Indians paid taxes to the company. The company used that same money to buy goods from those same Indians. Those goods were sold in Europe for enormous prices. The profits flowed back to England. Part of them, in pure gold, went straight into royal pockets. It was like forcing someone to work, charging them to work, and then thanking them for the opportunity. For more than 2 centuries, this system drained wealth on a scale that's hard to even imagine. Trillions in today's values. Entire economies functioning as gears in a machine that spat gold into London. Kings who prayed with one hand and signed exploitation contracts with the other. All in the name of faith, civilization, and, of course, the golden medal. But the real leap happened when England did something that seemed technical, almost boring, but changed everything. It adopted the gold standard. Suddenly, its currency wasn't just money. It was a promise. Each pound represented a fixed amount of gold, and whoever controlled the gold controlled the world's trust. London became a magnet, Gold from Australia, gold from South Africa, gold from colonies, allies, trading partners. The empire controlled territories where more than half of the world's gold was mined. And much of that metal ended up in the same place, British vaults. Wars helped. They always do. During the First and Second World Wars, Allied countries sent gold to London in exchange for weapons, supplies, promises of protection. Some never saw that gold return. Others pretended not to notice. Because once trust is broken, the cost of questioning it is too high. It was in this context that London stopped being merely an owner of gold and became something more powerful, the guardian of other people's gold. The center where prices are set, standards imposed, and rules written. An invisible empire, without flags, but with contracts. And then comes the irony few people know. Despite storing more than 5,000 tons of gold, Great Britain actually owns only a small fraction of it. The rest belongs to other countries, or rather it belongs to them. As long as everything works, because on paper the gold is foreign. But physically, it's there, under London, behind doors that weigh tons, protected by concrete, steel, and state intelligence. If the world collapses, if rules are suspended, if contracts become worthless paper, the gold doesn't move. It stays where it is. And history shows this isn't paranoia. It's happened before. French gold frozen, Egyptian gold blocked, Russian gold never returned, Venezuelan gold withheld. There was always an elegant justification, legal, moral. But deep down, the real argument is simple. Whoever controls the vault controls the outcome. The most fascinating part is that London doesn't need to announce this. It doesn't need to threaten. True power is silent. It lies in the fact that everyone keeps sending their gold there anyway, because selling gold in London is easy, fast, instantly liquid. A single bar can change owners dozens of times a day without ever moving. Only a name on a screen changes. Twice a day, the world pauses to hear London declare the price of gold, jewelers, mining companies, central banks. Everyone obeys, because the standard is London's. The seal is London's. The trust, too. Meanwhile, millions ride the subway, unaware that they are walking over one of the greatest emergency insurances in human history. An insurance policy that doesn't officially belong to the one who guards it, but that, in an extreme case, would hardly leave that place. The British monarchy lost empires, colonies, territories, but it never lost control of the game, not through military force, but through managed trust. An empire without maps, without visible borders, sustained by underground vaults and silent agreements. In the end, it all comes down to an ancient truth. Contracts are words, treaties are ink, but gold remains where it lies. And as long as the world keeps trusting London to guard its treasures, the old empire will remain alive, not above the ground, but right beneath our feet.